G'day mates and welcome back. So we're going to launch off our rocket. We're going to do a uncrewed orbital flight test. So we know this thing goes suborbital. We know we can do suborbital with people. We now need to double check that the thing works properly in orbit, can maintain an orbit and then come back down and deorbit. Make sure it's got the delta V and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we could jump straight to a crewed orbital flight, but without testing it first, there will be a minus 10% to every single check. I prefer not to go through that. Not if we can avoid it, and not when there is 1,000 prestige on the line, which is pretty valuable, and that will give us a bit of a backup if we have to use some of the small ones. Now we are required to use our Proton K booster. We can go the K or the KD. This is an interesting question, so we could also open up Sawyer's booster, which we're not doing. This one confuses me a little bit. Or it doesn't confuse me. This one gives me some food for thought. Now, I could go the Proton K. It's cheaper, considerably cheaper. It is more reliable, and because we're not launching any people, this one is probably the logical choice to go for. Having said that, if I can test this one here and it works, I can get a big bonus to it, a big boost immediately. There's a higher chance of failure, which will set our program back significantly, but getting this up will make our future launches significantly easier, and God forbid it does fail. If something does go wrong, we're not actually going to lose an astronaut, and we will have time to still pump this up and recover it and get that R&D capability, reliability up in future. So I am going to test it. It will give us a big boost if it works, and hopefully we can get this all done. Now let's make sure we've got all our good people on here again. Yes, we do. Okay, uncrewed test coming up. Meanwhile, these three, they can just sit there. I'm not going to bother training them because I will just need to untag them again soon. You, however, now, I'm not actually going to train this person in leadership. They're not ever going to go up anywhere by themselves. What I am going to do is get their piloting up. I'm going to get your... desperately get your piloting up. And, yeah, that should be it. Let's have a quick look. Looks like his piloting did actually level up. It was at 54, I think, %. So it's gone up by 10% during that launch. So their skills do level up, even though it only showed that leadership was the only one to have increased. So that is good to know. You are our Capcom, and we're not going to do anything with you just yet because we will need you next season, I suspect. So let's end this and hope for the best. Now the Proton K is doing well there. The Sawyer's is good. Yep, holding up. We're nearly there. We'll be able to test some of these shortly. We'll actually require the Igla automatic docking system. An extra 0.5%, really not much. That's getting there gradually. And you are ticking along. So we gain an extra 1.4, which, well, hopefully it doesn't even cut it that close, but hopefully that will make a difference for this flight. And you're getting there eventually. Let's go for it. 1,000 prestige. I hope we get it. Well, that went pretty well in the end, although it looked like a network failure may have come up, but it didn't happen, thankfully, during the recovery. I can't stand it when things go wrong in the recovery. Somehow, not being able to find it in a short period of time invalidates the entire mission, but it didn't actually happen this time. And now, thankfully, it's actually put our Proton KD up by 6.4%, which is massive, considering it's been going up by 0.5% each time, or 1%, whatever. And you are up as well. We are looking pretty good. I think we'll be able to do a big launch next season. Oh, and a boost of 1500 prestige out of the blue. Excellent. This really put us in line. We've got 4 seasons. We've got 1 year to get another 2,500 prestige. Now, if you think about it, we can get 2,500 prestige from a lot of different places. We can keep doing the Sawyers. We've got here, what have we got here? 7,000. No, we don't. We've got 3.6. Why is that so low? Probably because we've done the suborbital flight. So there's only a few things we're achieving. It's unfortunate. There is less we're getting from there. We are risking quite a lot by failing, but that will push us over the threshold. What do we have here? Yeah, 3.7 there. Although again, I imagine once we've done that particular, once we've done the orbital flight, this one will be worth considerably less, I imagine. Ooh, all the way down, it's quite a lot of duration. We could do that one there, but we'd be taking a massive penalty by attempting to do that. Yeah, 27% across the entire thing. Probably not worth it. And then of course there's all these other ones that we will be able to do in the next period. Next pay period. Vostok also gives us the opportunity for 2,500. 89.3%. You know, I could probably shut Vostok down at this point. I will keep it open just in case we have a major setback with the Sawyers that puts the reliability back too far, and we may need that prestige very rapidly. And of course the sample return is not quite ready just yet. 8,000 prestige, that is massive. Absolutely massive. Currently got 69% nearly on that. And the Proton K is doing well. Let's have a quick look at the Proton KD. Okay, it's 84.9. It can get it up a little bit further, but I don't expect that our team will get it up too much more. That's only going up a tiny fraction as well. It'd be worthwhile to move these people off onto a better rocket sometime soon. Ooh, yeah. I've got the money. What do I got the money to do? What I'm going to do is actually... Oh, look at that, 0.1%. It's not worth it. There's no point even having a team on this anymore. What I am going to do is put our best people on to... Remember when you were useless, you're now incredible now. He's gone right up in skill. Definitely good. And you... There we go. So that will get it up as well. We do need to get our spacesuits up there. Coming up very slowly, unfortunately. You're not particularly good at spacesuits. What am I going to do with you? What am I going to do with you? You're only worth 0.2% as well. You're worth a bit more. What am I going to do? What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you on here for now. I can always come back and take you off as required. Alternatively, I could train you one more level. I think I will train you one more level in crewed spacecraft. There we go, that'll make you one of our best as well. Okay, we've got the funding now to launch off. Give me 1 second. Whew, big sneeze. Glad you guys missed that. That would have burst your little eardrums. I think we're going to go an orbital flight here. We've got the 4 people required. We've got the 13 on standby. We've got more than that actually. And we have the funding for it. It will give us the required amount. The Soyuz is reliable enough. The Proton KD has proven to be reliable and has had a bit of a boost. I am satisfied that we can run this now. Everybody is in. Now, FAO, you have a very good FAO, Simon Ruff. Mission operations, you're a spacecraft systems person, so let's have a look at all of our systems people. So two of them. Nobody is a good FAO. Let's see if we've got any good FAOs in here. Wait, is that what we needed? I can't remember what it was. Those last two look the same to me. I can't tell the difference in my memory between crew and payloads and mission operations. So we need a missions operations person, I believe. Yeah, we need a mission operations person. So let's have a look at them. Who do we have? You're our worst. Our best mission operations, who's not currently on a job, is currently training. Okay. Stop training, mate. We need you. Need you for the big time. Assemble missions. Let's put you there. Let's put you in. Keith Trinkle, welcome aboard. And Simon Rupp, you can go on to do the job you're actually trained to do. Looking good there. With our commanders, you've got good leadership. You have, well, you're acceptable. Flight engineer is going to be you again, and get your piloting up, and you can get your, I don't know, EVA up, I suppose. Okay, give it a shot. 10,500. Please don't fail. Now these remaining four, what can they do? You may as well get your crew and payload up. We've got enough spacecraft systems people. No, we'll never have enough. We might need it for a B team. You are good though, so we're actually going to get you to do something else for a while. I don't know what we'll end up using you for. We may use you as a flight director. I'll just get your weakest skill up. At this point, I've sort of stopped keeping track of everything. I do normally keep a little pen and paper with me and keep track of all our people, but we get a pretty big spread. It's hard to keep track of 22 of them, when especially when these two things just look exactly the same to me. I can't remember the difference between operations and crew and payloads. It doesn't mean much to me. So I think we're ready to go. Let's follow this up next season and check it out. I'm still trying to save money, but because I'm spending it each turn, we're not actually getting enough to open up the Soyuz mission. So I really am just waiting on that prestige to open it up. And 1969 is closing on us very rapidly. Docking, that's getting there. It's a tiny little bit, 0.4%. Okay, let's launch up. We've got a lot to lose here, but there's also a lot of potential win. Well, there we go, an absolutely flawless mission. Not a single thing went wrong that our people couldn't recover from themselves. Very, very nice, and look at that prestige right there. Proton KD has leveled up again, and that is going to be valuable, although we will be moving away from the Proton KD within the next budget cycle. Simply because we need to start heading off to the moon. We have got a few more testing things that we can do in orbit, and we will be doing that, basically milking for prestige and whatnot. Thank you very much, comrade. I'm doing my best. Okay, looks like we've got here, these are people who are working on the rocket. The rocket is now the best it's ever going to be. At least as good as we can R&D it. Although you're a crewed spacecraft person, what I can do with you is probably... No, we've got no more crewed spacecraft stuff to do. Kinda cool for now. And I've actually got the money to open up this one here. We're going to do the Soyuz L3 Soyuz LK lunar landing. Again, these Russian designations don't mean a lot to me. We are going to go for the beautiful Soyuz program, essentially the Apollo program in Russian. 5,000 maintenance every single turn, that's huge. It's going to cut our budget right back, but we are going to be getting the maximum budget next turn. So this will allow us to start working on this early. None of our rockets are capable of lifting this, so we're going to need the N1. This one here is only required for the mega big direct descent launch, which we won't be doing. Although we may end up doing that later on if I do have the budget for it. We probably won't get it done before 1969 though, not on hard mode. So we need to upgrade our thingamajig before we can actually get a rocket for this. The N1 booster, I believe, let me just double check that to make 100% sure. It's been a long time, a number of years since I've done a Soviet campaign all the way through. So we need the huge one for this particular program. It's a massive weight that we're sending up. 7-day mission, 7-day mission, 7-day, yep. Anyway, let's have a look here. We've got the Soyuz now. We require, what have we got here? 1,500 kilos. We only require... Yeah, so the N1 can do even the heaviest mission iteration. That's fine, that's what we will do. But we'll do that next time because we're going to be upgrading this one. It's going to take 4 seasons, wow, 1 whole year to actually upgrade before we can get that rocket. We may have left this a little bit long. We're going to upgrade that though. And... I'm going to be doing any launches, that's the question, I'm not sure. Let's have a quick look in here at payloads. Vostok, I think, is dead to us now. We have bigger and better things to do, so I'm actually going to get rid of Vostok. You've been great and have kept you around just in case, but it really was a waste of money in the end. Let me think. Soyuz, we still have stuff to do in Earth orbit. This is really only open so that we can actually start working on some of the items down here, which is going to be the Soyuz spacecraft, the actual version that we're going to be using. The one we've been testing is actually a different version of it, and this is one that we could probably send around the moon, so I could probably understand why, going back to here, I can actually understand now why this is a separate mission. It's something you can do early on, you've got the technology to develop it, and that will give you significant amounts of prestige, although I think that cost is probably a little bit astronomical considering this one now is so much cheaper. Anyway, let's have a look. What are we going to be doing? I need to get... So we won't be using that spacecraft for our actual moon trip. We will still be doing testing in orbit to get our badges and whatnot. You are going to need our best crewed spacecraft people. Are any of them still working on anything? Yes, they're over here. So I'm actually going to take you guys off. I'm going to put our best and brightest on this one here, because this thing needs to be spectacular. It cannot fail. You guys can go on here. We will need this in the near future. Oh, okay, there's only 1 of you. I forgot I only had 5 of you in this round. Normally I have 8. You're only giving 0.2 there. How much are you going to give up here? A fair bit more. Okay, you two work on that for a couple of turns. By the time we need it, I suspect we'll have it well and truly over 80, probably in the low 80s. You guys are getting there gradually. You're taking a while. I probably could have trained... Yeah, I'll train you up and you'll be able to come back bigger and better. Space probes, you may as well level up in space probes. A bit higher, 10%, that's good. Now these remaining 4 are going to be our human rated rockets people, and I'm going to train you in, so I'm actually going to spend the remaining time, because we can't open it up just yet, it's going to be 4 seasons. So if I can get you guys at your top level, you'll be able to burn through that as quick as humanly possible. Meanwhile, who have we got here? Teresa, Laranova, you just need to keep working on your leadership. That really is all we need you for. Keep you on the ground, keep you safe mainly, because you are our highest leadership person and we need that skill. Meanwhile, these people are going to do nothing for the time being. I'm just going to keep training you in your best skill, really, because what else am I going to do? Not going to leave. If you do leave them idle, their morale does gradually go down, which is a bit of a bummer. Does mean I need to keep doing things with them. And just a little bit of repeated clicking here. I'm sure that's always fun to watch on screen. But if we keep these people trained up in their top skill, that's really what I'm going to be using them for. Gym Power, you are going to train up. I don't think we need that many trajectory GNC people, but I mean that is the skill you've got. Crew and payloads. Yeah, I suppose. You get your lowest skill, which is that one. And there we go. Everyone should be training. And in a couple more turns, we begin to keep testing the Soyuz in orbit, Earth orbit. Let me just check one more time. 35. Current budget is 27,000. We're actually getting a small bonus. So I believe it was 25 or 26,000. Getting a random event bonus. So we're actually not going to be increasing quite that much. And that is where hard mode begins to get a little bit more difficult. Our budget in easy mode would be skyrocketing now. We'd be able to do multiple launches per turn. Here, we could really only just afford to open the programs we needed. But the extra budget, extra couple of thousand budget will put us up to, let's say, 7,000 or 8,000, basically 20,000 per turn. That will be very useful. Okay, 3 more turns gives us time to actually get a bit of a head start here. Proton K, we'll be using that for the Luna 15. Igla docking is getting there. You are still going very well. I'm impressed with that. Luna 15 is stalling a little bit, but if it keeps ticking over, we will get there. And that spacecraft is going to be an absolute pain to develop. They always are, these final ones. It's a real struggle to get there by 69. DAP is upgrading, good. Looks like NASA hasn't done very much lately. I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing. Okay, Timko, I need you to get your piloting up high. George, mate, you need that fitness up. You are rubbish with fitness. You are very good as a leader, but I want to get your EVA up as well. We'll bump that up. Your piloting's acceptable, so we'll get your EVA up as well. May as well get your piloting up. It's not particularly good or bad, and you... piloting is not bad either. I think I'll get your fitness up 1 level, because that is used for nearly everything. Welcome aboard. Do that. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Let's keep ticking along. And oh, look at the time. This episode has gone on quite a bit. So, once we just check through all of these, it's actually going along well, good. This is where we're going to call this episode. We'll come back next time, and okay, NASA's open Project Apollo. The race is on. This is a bit of a cliffhanger here. It's NASA versus the Soviet space program, and we are pushing on to see who can get to the moon first. I've been Blxz. Take care, and I'll see you next time.